What's up, guys? My name is Kyle Smith, and this is my first video of what I'm hoping to be a series of videos mostly based around track and field because that's pretty much my life. And I felt like what better way to start it than to talk about how I started running track. So I live in Alabama, and my seventh grade year, I got into a little bit of trouble. Um, went to alternative school, and when I got back, they moved my teachers, and one of my teachers, my science teacher, was actually my was actually the track coach. So he was like, "Well, you seem like you're all well-rounded kid. Why not just start running track?" He needed people because really, I don't really think it was a big thing where we were from. Like I live in a big city. Like it's not just I live in Birmingham, so it's not like some country town outside of wherever, who knows. So I was like, okay, so I'll do it. And back then I kind of I was like getting in trouble a lot. So people just felt, Kyle, maybe you need to hop into this so that you can stay out of trouble and relieve yourself of all the stress. So right before the indoor season started, my mom had got an email like your son has an F. And what's so funny about it is because when I was supposed to go get my physical, I was in the car and she was like, "We're not going to get your physical because I got an email saying that you got an F." So I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So I vowed to myself, "Okay, I'm gonna run outdoor." So outdoor comes, and it was my first year. I've never done outdoor. I didn't really know what track was. My family's loves watching it for the Olympics, but I never really was like, wow, track and field, because I didn't know any of the lingo like PRs or marks or DQ. So going into outdoor season, I knew my dad ran track and he ran the 200, the 100, and he did long jump. So I was like, okay, well, why not be like my dad and do those events? So I do those events, and my first meet, my eighth grade year, it was right before the track meet. One of my friends was like, "Hey, Carl, did you get any spikes?" And I was like, "What are spikes?" I was like, I don't know what spikes are. So I called my mom. I was like, "Ma, I need some spikes. I don't know what those are." But so she's like, "Why didn't you know about this?" And I was like, "Well, I was just gonna run in, my Nike trainers." And she was like, "Well, why can't you do that?" And I was like, "Because supposedly, you gotta have spikes." So later on that day, I got called up to the office I had this big black bag, and when I looked inside of it, it had all this gear. It had like tights, socks, spikes. It had replacement spikes. Going into my first track meet, um, please don't ask me because I really don't know what I did in the 100. But I do remember my 200 was the last event of the day. Long jump, I just jumped. I didn't really know what to do. I just ran, looked at the board, and jumped. I ran the 200, and I was in one of the last heats. Now I know that if you're in the last heat, it's normally because you haven't been timed yet. So I just got down in the position I thought I've always seen. So I got down, had my arms like this. So I run, and I'm running, and I kind of tiptoe around the curve because really nobody's really taught me how to run the 200. So I run around the curve, and I'm tiptoeing, blah, 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 and I realized I'm winning. Like I'm hearing people say "Oh my gosh, go Kyle." People are like, "Come on." So I just take off on the straightaway and I win my event. As the season starts to go on, I'm still long jumping. I'm still doing the 100 and the 200. And my coach throughout the whole time that I've been doing track, he was like, "Man, you're long. You need to be doing hurdles and triple jump." I'm long, yeah, but what does that have to do with triple jump or hurdles? And most long leg people do triple jump, like Christian Taylor, Will Clay, and Chris Bernard. So he's like, "You really need to do triple jump." So time goes by, and he starts making us fill out this Google form. And basically on the Google form, it was more like what events you wanted to do versus telling the coach, "These are events I need you to sign me up for." So he's like, "Kyle," he pulls me over. He's like, "Kyle, I need you to, when you do the Google form, I need you to put down triple jump." So in my head, I'm like, I'm not doing triple jump. I've never done this before. So I go in there, and of course, me being who I am, I put the 1, the 2, and the long jump. So we get to Vestavia. It was Vestavia Relays. We get to the Vestavia Relays meet, and we're warming up, and he brings out the paper. He's like, "Everybody come over here, just look at what events you're going to be in." So I look on the paper. I'm looking for the 1 and the 2, and they're not on there. And I look at him, I'm like, Coach, what events am I running? He said, oh, you're going to do the 4x1, you're going to do sprint medley, you're going to do long jump, and you're going to do triple. And I don't want to do triple. It's not what I want to do. You know, I've never done triple before. So that day, Vestavia, I doubt any of you will know that, but Vestavia, it has like a curse. Like every meet Vestavia relays, it's going to rain. So time going by, I just got, now mind you, I have been doing running events, and I wasn't very good at it. I was terrible. But I had always done good on the relays, but we had never got medals. So at this meet, we got a medal in the sprint medley in the 4x1. That was the first meet that I've ever gotten a medal. And I actually ended up coming out with 3. And I would be triple jumps. This is what I'll tell you about it. So it's late at night. It's been raining, thunder, like lightning warnings. They had to stop the meet a couple times. I really thought it was going to be canceled, but it wasn't. So finally, some people had gone home. So it was only like 5 of us triple jumping. So I run down there because they call it. They were like, boys, triple jump to the pit on the east side. So I run over to the pit, and there's really nobody over there because everybody's pretty much gone home and it's pretty much got soaked out. So my coach at the time, Coach Kythen, he was the jump coach for our middle school. He was like, okay, so Coach James wants me to teach you. So he tells me, stand up and turn around. He pushes me, and I came out with my right, and he was like, okay, so you're going to be a right, left jumper. So to this day, I don't know how I got a mark out that day. My first jump, I go, and I scratch. I've done this in long jump before. By this time, I'm actually starting to get used to the lingo and what people are saying. So I knew when she called scratch, I was like, okay, that doesn't count. So my second one, I go, and I run, and I scratch again. And I look up at my mom, and I'm like, I hate triple jump. I told her, I said, I hate triple jump. I don't want to do this ever again. And in my household, we don't really quit. So I knew that was out the question. So I just made it clear to her, I hate triple jump. Back to my rotation. I remember taking a deep breath. I was like, I have to get on this board. I have to, bro. Like, if I don't get on this board, I might spaz. So I'm running down, and I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just look at the board. So I run with my head down, and I remember planting my foot. Like, I made sure, like, I pretty much like punched the board. I was like, I'm gonna make this. Like, I'm gonna get this. So I hit the board. I hear it, a little crack noise, and I hop into the pit. And she says, Mark. So I get up, and I'm like, yes. And I remember looking at my coach, my mom, and I'm like, I love triple jump. And so all the adults and the officials started laughing, and they were like, wow, just the jump ago, he was saying he hated it. So I go over to the lady, and she was like, I think you might have won. She was like, I know you medaled. And in my head, I'm like, wow, this is my first time, like, officially getting my own medal. So, but that was in my head. So I didn't know if I won first or second. So she was like, so she looks down, she marks, she says, all right, you came in second. So the pits are behind the end zone. So I hop from off the runway, and I run down the thing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just freaking, medaled. I'm just spazzing. Like, I'm like, okay, people are looking at me like, okay, you medaled. But all before this meet, I didn't get any medals. I really thought track wasn't going to be for me. I thought I was just going to be this regular person who just ran. Kind of like how I see a lot of people now. They just do it just because. I thought I was going to be that guy. Just come out every year and do it just because. So they call up boys triple jump. Hunter Salmon, first place from Vestavia. Kyle Smith in second. So I get my medal, and I go and I take a picture. From then on, I started doing triple jump. Now I know that this is kind of like my thing. He's put me on this earth to do triple jump. I feel I've been doing well. I progress constantly, yearly. So I really believe that God has allowed me to, he needed to show me at that meet, Kyle, this is you from now on. So I cut off all sprinting events. I never ran again. And 200 was probably my best event. Other than long jump. So I never ran again. Going to Metros, which is like a mini state for middle schoolers, leading up to that, I was winning everything. But I never knew what humble was. Like, I was always competitive, and I always talked down on people middle school. But I finally got humble at the Metro meet. At that meet, my new PR was 37 something. So just in 3 meets, I went from 34 to 30. I ended up coming in third at that meet, and that's when I really started realizing you got to be more humble. Like you have to. So going into ninth, I was like, well, I guess I'll do track. I ended my 8th grade season being 12th in the state of Alabama, and for 8th graders, and for the nation, I was like 45th for 8th graders. So I was like, okay, I'm really shaking with something. So going into 9th grade year, I was like, I want to hit 40. I want to hit like 42. I didn't get to do indoor that year either because of my grades. So 9th grade year, my whole goal was, let's try to go 40. Now, I'm in high school now. I'm trying to make the varsity team. I actually do. So I didn't make the indoor. I hurt my ankle and my wrist playing football. It's that thing that keeps me going. It's the thing that keeps me out of trouble. The thing that keeps me, keeps me basically level-headed and keeps the grades that I have. So I missed my indoor season because I was hurt. So going into outdoor, I was on the JV team because I had missed a couple. My coach, Coach Floyd, at practice, he said, okay, I want you to go over there and touch the goalpost. At that time, I'm like 5'8", probably 5'9". So I go over there and I like get it with my fingers. So he's like, okay, so yeah, you're definitely a jumper. So jumping, I'm just going through JV. I'm jumping the meets. I hit 40. So I progressed 4 feet from 8th grade year. And I'll actually continue to do that going into my sophomore year. I actually PR'd by 5 feet. So right before the state meet, he was like, you'll be at a sectional.